So today I'm going to be doing a book review on one of Jennifer L. Armentrout's latest books, Moonlight Sins. This is the first book in her De Vincent series. It's an adult contemporary romance series. And if you guys didn't know, I've been a long time Jennifer L. Armentrout fan. I think she is amazing when it comes to romance, and she's got away with those book boyfriends, I'll tell you that. But let's just dive into this book. So I'll start it off by reading the synopsis for you guys. Julia Hughes has always played it safe when she learned a very painful lesson. Now Julia's starting over with a job in the Louisiana bayou and a scorching encounter with a stranger, only to discover he's Lucian de Vincent, her new employer. The de Vincent brothers share a massive fortune and a dark reputation. Julia cares for their troubled sister, but a menacing presence in the mansion and the ever-present temptation of Lucian prove dangerously distracting. Lucian's grandmother claimed de Vincent men fall in love once, and hard. Apparently, it's Lucian's turn. Julia's compassionate care of his twin makes Lucian want to lay himself bare, but some secrets are better for Julia not to know. The recent suicide of Lucian's father is the latest in a string of deaths on the estate. Someone is eliminating the de Vincents, and the best way to get Lucian may be through Julia. So I have to preface this by saying that I am a sucker for a series about siblings, whether it be brothers or sisters or a mix of the two. I just love it. I really love like companion novels, companion series in general. Just once you read a story and your interest gets piqued about like the secondary characters and you want to know about them and you want to see them fall in love. So I've always been a fan of companion series, and they're definitely more popular nowadays than they were in the past, and more prevalent, if anything else. Here is a series about three brothers, the De Vincents. So this one is about Lucian. The second book will be about Gabriel, and then the last book will be about Dev. So the thing that you have to know about any JLA book, JLA is just kind of like the short form of her name because it's so long, is that she's pretty formulaic when it comes to any and all of her books. You get the snark and the sarcasm, but you also get the charm and the romance and the brooding guy with like a protective streak about him, and sometimes they are a jerk at first, and the woman breaks down the barriers and sees the good side of him and the loving side of him and all that. And then other times, you can kind of tell that they're a good guy all around, and they're protective. Like my favorite male character from her ever is Aiden St. Delphi from her Covenant series, and he'll always be my favorite. But that's neither here or there, but she does have a way of writing amazing male characters and pretty decent female characters. I really enjoy Alex from the Covenant series is one of my favorite female characters. Also Katie from her Lux series as well. But in regards to this actual book, I enjoyed it. Would I say it's my favorite from her? No, it's not. And so oftentimes I will admit that I do get kind of bored with how she writes her books because they're pretty much the same. Style-wise, once you read a couple of her books, you kind of pick up on that's how she writes all of her books, and then they're kind of pretty much all the same. Like if you went into one of her books blindly, within a few chapters, you would most likely recognize her style and be like, yep, that's a JLA book. And I mean, that's good and bad, you know, like if that's what you like, then you'll appreciate that and you'll gobble this one right up. And then oftentimes you might need a break from that and, read a bunch of other things and then go back to one of her books. And it's like, revisiting an old friend and all that. So with this book in particular, even though it's an adult romance book, for some reason, she kind of like walks the line of paranormal, like in the sense where there's like a ghostly, eerie tone to the book. And I guess that's intentional, There's a lot of deaths surrounding the de Vincent family and a lot of mysterious stuff that happens. And so you kind of want to bring that eerie tone to the book and have the reader kind of fear in that sense. But it's not anything scary. And honestly, I will say that the mystery is fairly obvious. If you pay attention at all, you'll get it. You'll get the mystery and kind of like who's behind it very, very easily. But I mean, that's not always a bad thing. There are plenty of times that I know what's going to happen and I know who's behind all of the bad stuff. And it doesn't necessarily deter me from the book. I mean, it kind of makes me impatient because I want to see it all like play out. But I mean, more often than not, it never bothers me because I mean, that's just something that I can just easily figure out. But yeah, it's not the author's fault or anything like that. With any of these kind of like suspenseful books, it takes quite a while for everything to really be uncovered and for the mystery to be solved and all of that. So most of the book is really focused on Lucian and Julia's love story, them falling in love, them meeting and them falling in love and trying to make it work and all of that. For the most part, it was okay. They're definitely not my favorite couple, and while I liked each of them individually and together, I didn't necessarily love them, or maybe it was because I didn't really connect with them in any type of way. Usually there's something about her men, JLA's men, that I just find kind of irresistible, and I really like them. But Lucian, he's nice. He's very, very, he is, attractive in that descriptive sense, and he is a good guy. And I liked the chase and how he treated Julia and watching them, fight the attraction and then eventually giving in and then figuring out that they were falling in love and all of that. That was all fun. It's kind of, I've seen it before, but it's just, I guess maybe because I've seen it so many times before that there's nothing that really stands out about it. And one thing that really bothered me about the relationship was the fact that he would always be calling her Miss Hughes, which is Hughes is her last name, and it just kind of like rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, yeah, at first it's kind of like charming or amusing in a sense, but then once they really get to know each other, then why do you always call her that? It's just, I don't know. I personally didn't find it any attractive later on down the line, but I suppose to each their own. I will say that probably the only thing that really kept me going was finally seeing how the mystery resolves itself and really just figuring out who's behind all of the mysterious stuff that's happening in their house and within their family. But then also his brother is really intrigued. And that's the thing with JLA. Like, she just has a way with her characters that really gets you intrigued and really makes you want to read her books just to get to know her characters. Whether or not you end up loving them is another story, but she definitely piques your interest. And I'm very, very curious to read about Gabe, and even more so to read about Dev and see what kind of cracks his shell, because he's a tough one, and he's the oldest one, and so he kind of runs the family and the business and all that, and it's just, he's a tough one, and I can't even imagine how his story is going to turn out. But we have to get through Gabe before we get to him. And so overall, this book I have to give a 3 out of 5 stars. I liked it, but I didn't love it. The premise, the whole world, with the brothers and their supposedly cursed family, like that intrigues me, and I want to learn more about their family. But the mystery was kind of lackluster, and the romance was just okay. So that's really my takeaway from the book. It was just okay. It was a decent read. Definitely not my favorite from her, but not bad. So take that as you will. Okay, so I think that's all that I have to say about this book. I'd love to know what you guys think about it, and if you are curious about the series at all. And yeah, I guess that's it for now. I will see you all next time. Bye.